Hey everybody, I'm Zach.
And I'm Jesse.
And you're watching In Depth.
On Now You Know.
Jesse?
Oh, yeah?
It's happening.
What's happening?
It's happening.
What is happening? Please tell the people what's happening.
I sat down to watch a TV show the other day on the old-fashioned TV, cable.
I don't...
It has commercials. Have you ever heard of commercials? You don't watch commercials. You don't watch that. Okay.
No.
I watch occasionally old-fashioned television with commercials.
Okay,
and
yeah.
I fast-forward through them. That's how hip I am.
Okay.
And I saw a Tesla on a commercial, so I stopped the commercial, rewatched it. It was for Turo, which is that company that rents out cars. And on the Turo commercial, they were talking about, hey, if you want to rent a really cool car, you could rent a Tesla. And I was like, this is awesome.
So you weren't watching like the Eco News Network?
No, I was watching like a new sitcom show,
Okay.
hip new show.
Absolutely, because it's on that cable that you're always talking about. Okay.
But what the rest of the country's watching.
Yes, I know. Yeah. I'm sorry.
And that was fine. I went back to my show, and then halfway through the show, I'm watching another commercial break, and what do I see? A Chevy Bolt.
So you pause it.
So I paused it.
Okay, yeah.
And I rewound it, and I watched it, and, well, it's a commercial. I guess we can show commercials, right?
Sure.
It was this commercial.
Wow. When I think of an EV commercial, this is kind of what I picture in my head. You have some guy, he thinks that he's being good for the planet, but he's still got a tailpipe on the back of his car. All of a sudden, he sees the better version of himself driving the same color car,
And then the quote, with instant acceleration, electric cars are more fun to drive and more affordable than ever. Electric cars are here. With Jetsons music playing.
Yeah, it's like basically my idea. Might sue them, I don't know.
It was almost the perfect commercial.
Really close.
So I watched it like 6 more times, and then I wrote some things down.
Mm-hmm.
I realized there was a BMW i3, there was a VW e-Golf, there was a Chevy Bolt, obviously, the Toyota Prius, there was a Honda something. I don't know what that was. It was too fast for me to catch it.
I think it's a Clarity.
Okay, might be the Clarity.
Hyundai
Ioniq being
yep.
charged.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, I should watch it again because I must have missed the Teslas. They must have been there somewhere. It's the number 1, 2, and 3 selling electric car.
This was weird. The number 1, 2, and 3 top selling electric cars were absent of a commercial made for selling electric cars.
Right. So then I did a little research. It said at the end, sponsored by Volkswagen Group of America. So I was like, why would Volkswagen be promoting a Chevy Bolt? Did a little research, and I found out that it's a brand-neutral campaign that's part of the $45 million public education program for Electrify America. It's supposed to teach buyers about the increasing range of battery-powered cars and all that good stuff. And I was like, okay, Electrify America. I remember that company. I remember that. What is it? And it turns out this is the result of Volkswagen's Dieselgate scandal. Mm-hmm. They were mandated by the federal agreement to spend $2 billion over a 10-year period to promote green car infrastructure and awareness after admitting to cheating on diesel emissions testings.
I see. So they had to make this commercial.
They had to. They were forced to.
They couldn't not
They did
make
it kicking and
this commercial.
screaming.
Right. Okay.
Richard Steinberg, who's the senior director at Electrify America, said in a statement, electric cars are not something of the future. They are here now and more accessible than many people know. That's awesome.
True.
But I was like, why didn't you include Tesla in there? I mean, the Model 3 is arguably the best-selling electric car. I guess the only thing I can think of is that maybe they're going to use like last year's data as their argument. Like, well, the Model 3 didn't exist when we started shooting this.
I'm sure they're using some metric of like, well, based on the car companies that sell over whatever Tesla's selling. But it's still, I'm
But
happy. Hey.
That's the thing.
Hey.
I want to go back. I'm sitting on the couch. I'm a regular American, right?
Yep.
I know nothing about what's going on in the world outside.
All of a sudden you see...
And
drove right past.
And I'm told by the person on TV who must be true, saying this is the future. And I'm like, why am I not doing the future?
Exactly.
So it's happening, Jesse. Like, this is happening. And I think we've been talking about this FUD stuff, the fear, uncertainty, and doubt that is being cast on Tesla and electric cars. And that is happening. But what's also happening is the Model 3 is happening. This advertisement is happening. It's happening. Electric cars are happening.
And it's not just the main manufacturers that we've heard of for the last 100 years that are doing it. It's new manufacturers that we've never heard of before because they never existed before.
Exactly.
And they're doing just electrics. It's not like they're like, well, we decided that we would make an electric version of the gas car that we make. No. These are just electric companies. They're like, we want to make electric vehicles. What's one of these companies?
All right, how about this one? You remember this company? I did an interview with their CEO, Mark Frohnmeyer. This is a company based right here in the USA in Eugene, Oregon. They are making this 3-wheeled fun utility vehicle.
Okay, what's it called?
Called Comodo. And check it out. I mean, this is the CEO of the company. He's driving around right here showing, this is a quarterly earnings report, and he's doing it in a video. Like, how cool is that?
That is really cool. Instead of just like a PDF document with a bunch of boring graphs, he's driving the car that they're going to make.
And this is a publicly traded company. You can invest in it. Their stock ticker symbol is FUV, Fun Utility Vehicle.
Right.
You can buy stock in it right now. And I think this company is fantastic. I think that, I mean, they've got a great concept, which is a 3-wheel fun vehicle to drive. They're going to start renting them at like resorts and places where people are going anywhere as destinations. And I think as more people experience them, just like the Model 3, and get to feel the kick of electric and the energy savings, they're going to go, why don't I have one of these in the garage?
Right. Next, you've probably heard us talk about Unity before. Unity is a car startup out of Sweden, and they've been working on the Unity 1. They finally have something that can drive around. This is something that we have not seen before.
No, when we went out into Sweden just in April, it wasn't quite there
ready.
yet.
Yeah.
Now check this out. It's driving around. And here's the exciting news. When we were out there in April, they weren't quite sure yet what class of car it would be. Would it be like a motorcycle in that kind of safety class? They've just decided that it will be in the M1 class, which is basically what a Volvo is in. It's going to be made to be safe on the roads, which means they can now go to a 4 or 5-seater model as well. So, I mean, pretty soon they're going to have all sorts of options to get. This is a small car that works really well in urban environments and cities.
Yep.
And we were in it. It was like being in a spaceship.
It's really cool. They've just started.
Yes.
They're just at the beginning. And it's not like they've just been like petering out. They have just been growing and growing and growing.
Right.
And it's so exciting.
And I mean, this company, Bollinger, they're making this B1, which is a badass looking utility vehicle, which you can do all sorts of work in. Again, you don't hear about these companies in the mass press because they're tiny startups, but they're doing amazing, amazing things.
Right. And Bollinger just tweeted at Elon Musk asking if they can use their charging stations.
I think if Elon, if you're watching, if you're taking a little rest from the
which please
Fremont
do,
factory,
watch to the end, just relax.
Say yes to these small companies. Let them use the supercharging
I think
network.
that he will, because he said before, any car manufacturer that wants to use our network can, as long as they help support the network.
Right.
Which is completely fair.
Yep.
So have Bollinger B1. Now all of a sudden you have Bollinger B1s parked at the Tesla supercharging station. This has not happened before. Like, there has not been another company that has asked to use the supercharger network.
Right.
And there have been no other cars other than Teslas that have used or had a supercharger network.
Right.
Which means that there have been no other electric cars other than Teslas that have been able to experience the raw power of a supercharger.
Right.
Mind-blowing.
Mind-blowing.
Because it's going to change how everyone thinks. As soon as they see a Bollinger parked at that charging spot, I think that that's going to have to be a wake-up call to other car manufacturers to be like, oh, crap, we can't keep hawking these electric cars without a network. They either are going to have to build their own network, or they're going to have to say, okay, Tesla, what do we got to do?
Here's another company, Sono Motors. We've talked about them before. And if you live in Europe, we're showing on the screen right now, this is the dates and places that you'll be able to actually do test drives of their cars in Europe.
Right.
This is a car that's super cool because it's covered with...
solar panels.
Yeah. It can get up to 18 miles of range a day sitting out there in the sun.
Right. They're going to be going into production in 2019. It's going to cost 16,000 euros. That's about 18,000 US dollars plus a battery. You have to also pay for the battery.
Or lease the battery.
Right. But how cool that there are all of these car startups.
And these are we just chose a few random ones. I mean,
right.
Here's the other exciting part. You haven't seen any of these cars on the road. Wait till you start pulling into, let's say, a supercharger or wherever, and you start seeing these cars. You're like, what is that thing covered with solar panels? What is that Bollinger B1 cool-looking truck?
Right. We have been sold the same cars for decades and decades and decades. I mean, the Corolla has gone through many different iterations, but it has always been kind of the same looking-ish car. Of course.
But look at these 4 cars. They
Right.
were all designed from the ground up to fit a specific need.
Right.
And they're so amazing in that they don't just like, can we stick another cup holder in there this
Right.
year? Doug, what do you think? Will
Right.
that...
First of all, they're completely electric.
Right.
Which is what we're looking for. They are gorgeous cars.
Yes.
Gorgeous vehicles designed with passion and new ways of thinking. It has not been like, you have this old guy who's been, I've been working here 85 years. You're going to want to put a swoop this way and that way, and it's going to look like a boring old sedan that you've seen 100 million times before.
Right.
I mean, how many cars on the road are just so boring looking? These are going to stand out.
Yes.
And not in a bad way. Kind of like how the Model 3 stands out in an amazing way.
And here's the thing. You can go onto their websites for these 4 companies, and you can actually get on the list. You can actually be a part of their future and get one of the first ones.
You can buy stock of their company.
That's right.
I just bought stock of Comodo the other day.
Good for you.
I was like, well, I can't buy another Tesla stock because it's too expensive. I guess I'll take the rest of the money that's left in my Roth IRA and I'll put it in Comodo.
Nice. Yeah.
And the stock's already starting to go up. I mean, it's so exciting to be a part of a company at this very small stage, to see the growth that they're going to be able to do, because Tesla's really blazed a path for all of these other companies and created demand. A lot of people wouldn't have ever considered a car like the Unity if they didn't know that Tesla existed.
Right.
And, you know, if they weren't like, well, but why would I get a smaller electric car if I couldn't also have a bigger electric car? You know, having a Tesla and a Unity car, or having a Tesla and having an Comodo, you know, or having a Bollinger B1 and an Comodo, like, that's so exciting.
You know, I mean, half of American households are invested in the stock market, which is actually at a low point for America.
Wow.
But that means that there's still a lot of people out there that invest. These are the companies that are probably going to do very, very well in the coming decade because they're on the cutting edge of some new trend.
Right.
And it's not something that's going away.
And you can support them through the public market.
That's right. I think it's happening right now, Jesse.
It is happening, despite all the FUD, despite all the crap that you're hearing thrown at Tesla about this and that, and you better look out. He's a
mean evil wizard man. Like,
it doesn't matter all this crap that you're hearing. Even if Tesla were to just disappear one day, all of these other companies are on the way up, and as we've seen, electric cars are not the future. They're the present. They're here today.
That's right.
So it's happened. We've done it. We can all go home. I'm just kidding. Don't go home. We need to keep pushing. But I mean, this is so great.
Yeah, we do have to every now and then pat ourselves on the back and go, you know what? It is happening.
It's happening.
That's right. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel. I think a lot of you might be afraid to push that button. You might not know what it means.
Basically, YouTube will show you more videos of ours whenever they come out. It'll say,
so you might be sitting there going, well, I don't want to do that. But you know what? Do it. And you know why? Because as that number goes up, we're able to talk to more people.
That's true.
When I reach out to CEOs of companies for interviews, as that number increases, I get more callbacks saying, I'd like to talk to you.
Right.
Which means that I can bring you those videos. So hit that button so we can do more for you.
Yeah. And if we get 6 million, we can interview Elon.
That's right. We'll sit next to Elon and we'll bring it right to you.
Right. That will be the day. So hit the subscribe button. Get your friends and your grandmother to do it too.
See, he changes too.
I did. Okay. If you want that. But if you're like, I don't care about anything, screw you guys. You don't have to. Okay. You can just keep searching for Now You Know every week. That definitely doesn't add up that time. Don't worry about it.
Thank you so much for watching, everybody.
Now you know.